Welcome to the Mom Life Unscripted podcast, the podcast show that normalizes the struggles of motherhood without being a Debbie Downer or using toxic positivity. Stick around for motherhood journeys from everyday mamas just like you, plus how we're navigating this wild ride we call motherhood. You might even come away with some tips you can use to survive and maybe even thrive. Society puts so much pressure on us to be the perfect mom when there's no such thing. This prevents so many of us from sharing our stories for fear of being mom shamed. As my favorite sociologist, Brene Brown, says, shame is the most powerful master emotion. It's the fear that we're not good enough. If we can share our story with someone who responds with empathy and understanding, shame can't survive. We're all in this together, Mama. Hey, welcome back to Mom Life Unscripted. It's me, Katie Rothschild, your host, and today you're just hanging out with me. I'm doing a solo podcast episode today. And it's going to be all around how I am surviving the holiday season with 3 kids under the age of 5. So I have a 4-year-old, a 2.5-year-old, and an 8-month-old. And as you can guess, it's organized chaos on our best days. And on a day like today, which was just a poop shoot, in case you have little ones listening. um, it was awful because no one slept last night. When I tell you none of the kids slept, my husband and I didn't sleep because we were tag teaming, like, who had the baby, who had the big kids all night long. And it was really hard. So everybody was extra cranky today, understandably, right? Like, you don't sleep, it's hard. And then I had a really hard time because I have ADHD, and one thing that a lot of people don't know about ADHD, particularly with women and girls, is it's not just the little kid that can't sit still in class. Is that a part of it? Absolutely. But for women and girls, and even boys too, I'm not going to exclude them, but it is really hard for us to regulate our emotions and to control our emotions. And we just tend to feel everything a lot more intensely. I've been told my whole life that I'm extra sensitive. And as I had navigated my ADHD diagnosis, I found out all this stuff. I'm like, oh, wow, that makes so much sense. So, anyway, little sidebar there. But when I don't have sleep, so I already have a hard time regulating my emotions, but when I don't sleep, it's like 20 times harder. And so, of course, I lost my cool today. Does that make it right? Absolutely not. And in our family, we're big into, if you do something, whether it's to our children or to each other, we apologize and are accountable for our actions. So it was a rough day today. And, with no sleep and then throw in the holiday craziness too. So I actually didn't think I was going to sit down and record this episode because just of how hard a day I had. And I thought about it and I was like, okay, my whole mantra, MO, is we talk about real and raw motherhood. And this is it right here. The day I had was, there are joyful days and there are days that are hard. And today was a hard day. And you know what? I'm just going to be real with y'all because I think that's so important. And I talk about this all the time. We only see a small snippet of somebody's life, right? So I'll go on social media, I'll be doom scrolling, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this mom's so perfect. She has her life put together. And then I always go back to the time where I was really struggling and I had a mom tell me I was so put together. And I was like, I appreciate that, but I promise you I'm not. Here's how it really is, And so I try to remember that, and I try to share my story, even the ugly parts of it, even the parts that I'm not proud of, even the messy parts, all of it, because when I had other moms share that with me, I felt like not as bad, quote unquote, of a mom. And I felt like I wasn't alone. Because if you look around, it's like, oh, everybody's got it together. Everybody seems perfect and feels perfect. And it's not true. And I promise you, those moms on social media, they're probably going through something that we have no clue. And that is their prerogative to not share. No shame on that. You share your truth. You share what you want, what parts of your life you want people to see. I happen to be a very open book because it has helped me, and I hope that it helps other mamas too. So, anyway, back to how I am surviving the holidays. A big thing that I have started implementing in my life has been self-care. And I don't know if you're aware, but in July, like literally 4 days before I turned 31, I had a mental health crisis. Now, it was nothing with self harm or anything like that, but I had a pretty significant mental health crisis or mental breakdown because I was literally carrying the weight of the world on my shoulders. And even with a very supportive husband and a very active support system, both family and friends, I couldn't take it anymore. I felt so alone. I felt like the world's worst mother. I felt like I was failing at literally everything. And that's actually when I decided to get help. I had already been medicated for postpartum depression and anxiety since last summer, so just over a year. But I never sought out therapy because, truth be told, I was a little chicken about it. I was like, oh no, this is going to be hard and scary. And, all those things that or at least I thought of that therapy was. And it was hard, but it was also incredibly beneficial. So, highly recommend therapy. But through that and through my healing and my journey of feeling like a bad mom and feeling just so lonely in my motherhood journey, I decided to create a Facebook group, Messy Minivan Moms. A lot of my listeners are actually in my group. And I just want to take a second to just tell y'all thank you so much. You seriously, I know I tell y'all thank you, but I don't think you understand the community and the encouragement and seeing y'all show up every day in that group and being real and supporting other moms. Like, it really does bring tears to my eyes sometimes when I think about it, because I started that group in one of my lowest places, and oh my gosh, it has been one of the biggest lights in my life. Um, so I just want to say thank you. And if you're listening and you're not a part of the group, please come join. I will link it in the show notes. It's really awesome. We just are real. We're real. We share happy and we share messy kitchens, and I yelled at my kids and I feel bad about it, and fun activities like, what is your crazy elf on the shelf doing? What kind of shenanigans have they gotten into? So we have a lot of fun in there. And um, so anyway, that was a little bit of an ADHD sidebar, but I felt like it was important to kind of address where I was and why I started prioritizing self-care. So part of my therapy journey was a journey in self-care, and sharing my story was part of my healing journey. So what I decided to do was start prioritizing me. And I feel like I might get a little pushback on that because it sounds selfish, but I will say this. We hear all the time, you can't pour from an empty cup. put on your own oxygen mask first. And how many times do we actually do that? If you're anything like me, like none. we don't do it. Or if we do it, we feel guilty about it because, oh, that's time away from my partner, that's time away from my kids, that's time away from my family. And I'm telling you right now, stop. A little tough love here. You got to stop doing that because I am living proof that when you don't take care of yourself, your body will literally stop you. When I had my mental health crisis, I mean, I went through severe depression, anxiety, panic attacks. Like my body was telling me, stop, because I was not giving myself the time I needed to take care of myself. So I'm telling you right now, taking care of yourself and prioritizing yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. So stop feeling bad about it. And so I'm just going to share with you today 10 things that I've been doing that really have helped me get into a better mind, body, spirit space. So, the first thing that I highly recommend doing every day, or you know what, I'm gonna back up for a second. I'm gonna give you these 10 things, and I want you to pick one because we're gonna start small. Because a lot of times people get really ambitious and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do all 10 every single day. And then when you can't get to it, if you're anything like me, you're like, oh, well, I just failed. What's the point? Why even try? So we're going to start small. I want you to pick one of these, and it can be a different thing each day. It could be the same thing each day. So pick one and start there. And then I want you to slowly work your way up. So I'll go over the 10 really quickly. The first one's going to be I want you to pray, meditate, or have quiet time, whichever you prefer, each day. And I don't mean like an hour long thing. Literally, if you only have 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is better than 0 minutes. If you have 2 minutes, 2 minutes is better than 0 minutes. So just remember that. And then the next one is I really try to eat a nutritious meal. And I know, I'm the queen of junk food, okay? So, like, if you're like me, I feel you, okay? But when I am eating food that is nourishing my body and giving me the right nutrients and vitamins I need, I feel so much better. It doesn't have to be every single meal. It can be a nutritious snack. It can be a nutritious lunch, breakfast, dinner, or again, it can be a snack. It doesn't have to be a 5-course meal. You don't need that. Just one small little thing. Again, we're not going to take an hour. If you want to and you have time, please go for it. But if you're anything like me and you're just constant chaos, sometimes all it is a quick snack. Eat a nutritious meal. And with that, I'm going to add, I take vitamins every single day and it has helped me so much. Especially my magnesium that I take. It just gives me more energy and I sleep better and I don't have as much brain fog. Now, just a little caveat before you start taking any vitamins and supplements and all that, please ask a medical professional. I am by no means a doctor, no means in the medical field. I'm just telling you what I do. But please consult a medical professional before you start taking vitamins or supplements. Okay, number 3 is going to be spend some time outside. I know some people don't love outside, and that's okay. Even if you go outside for 2 minutes and take a deep breath, and even if you're just on your porch, or even if you just take a quick walk around your cul-de-sac, whatever it is, it does something to your mood, especially sunlight and vitamin D. I can tell you It makes a huge difference. So spend some time outside. Um, Number 4 is going to be journal and reflect. So again, if you only have 5 minutes, you have 5 minutes, and 5 minutes is better than zero. I like to take time to journal when especially if I had a hard day or if I have like a big decision to kind of mull over, whether it's about my work or my kids or my family or even just something personal. I really like to take time to, one, when I'm journaling, the first thing is say everything I'm thankful for. It totally reframes my mindset. And then I just kind of journal. It could be how I'm feeling or what I'm nervous about or this decision. And again, if you only have 5 minutes, that's better than zero. The next thing, number 5, is do something creative. It could be cooking. Cooking can be creative. Baking can be creative. For me, I love to craft, like make door hangers and wreaths and fun little crafts like that. That is my jam. Um, it could be for you drawing. It could be even doing some creative writing. I know I have a few listeners that love to blog and write. And I'm one of them. I love to blog. I actually do writing as part of my job. So just think about something that you can just get creative, like let the creative juices flow. And then the next thing is move your body for 10 minutes. I know, it's hard, but if you're chasing toddlers all day, involve them. There is an awesome thing on YouTube called Cosmic Kids Yoga. And I have done that when we're just all anxious and we're having a hard time and we need to woo-saw, like zen out a little bit. That is movement. Yoga is movement. Running around with your kids in the backyard is movement. Going for a walk around your cul-de-sac is movement. But I highly recommend Cosmic Kids Yoga. Your kids can be involved with you. I will link that in the show notes. They do like Disney stories. It's awesome. So highly recommend that. And then what are we on? Number 7, I want you to practice deep breathing. So like inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. There's also box breathing where you inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, and then repeat. There's also, oh my goodness, I'm going to get this wrong. I want to say it's like 2-7-8 breathing or something like that, or 3-7-8 breathing. I'm not sure. So I'll have to link that, but basically it's a deep breathing technique, and I'll link all these resources in the show notes. Number 8 is do something you love. If you love, I don't know, doing calligraphy, do that. If you love spending time with your kids and playing with your kids, do that. If you love sneaking into your closet and eating a piece of chocolate while there are no kids for 3.8 seconds, do that. Like, we can't judge ourselves with self-care because some days are going to look so different than others. Like, again, today, it was one of those days where I had to just go sit in my closet for a second and get myself together and do some deep breathing. Other days, it's going to be, oh, I was able to take a bubble bath. You know what I mean? So don't judge yourself. I want you to just think of it as something is better than nothing. So, and then 9, do something just for you. Have me time. A lot of people love to go get their nails done. Do that if you can. Or maybe you love doing your makeup and getting dressed up for the day, or maybe you love doing your hair, or think about something that you love and it's just for you. It could be going to Starbucks and getting a coffee for yourself, but something that you love that is just for you. and do it. And then the last thing is going to be rest and recharge. Now, rest does not necessarily have to mean sleep. It can, by all means. Like, if you need to take a nap and you can, go for it. I commend you. I struggle with napping. It throws off my sleep cycle and the whole rest of my day. But it could be a bubble bath. It could be, just relaxing and resting and watching your favorite Netflix show. It could be doing a little, I don't know, just a little date night with your partner. It could be a number of things. So think about how you can rest and recharge. And like I said, I want you to pick one of these things to do during the, start one day at a time, one thing at a time. And as you move on, absolutely work your way up. Then add a second thing and then a third thing. But I want you to get really consistent with that first and before you start trying to do all 10 in one day. Cause I'm not even gonna lie. Like I'm 4 or 5 months into my journey and I still don't get to do all 10 every single day. And that's okay because something is better than nothing. There's two things I want you to walk away with today. The first one is self-care is not selfish, it's necessary. And the second thing is doing something is better than doing nothing. So doing some form of self-care, even if it is for 2 minutes a day, is better than not doing it at all. So I really just wanted to share that with the holidays. I know how stressful it can be, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. Us mamas have a lot that we take on our plates, and we so often do not spend enough time prioritizing our own needs. So with that, I'm going to leave you with that. And I also, everything I went over, I actually made a little guide, 10 quick and easy steps to avoid mom burnout, where I have this all laid out. And if you want to grab it, I'll link it in the show notes, but it is messyminivanmoms.com/burnout. If you want to grab it, it's completely free. All you have to do is drop your email and it will get sent straight to your inbox. So again, I hope everybody has a happy holidays. To all my listeners, I love y'all so much. The support and just the outpouring of love I've gotten on this podcast for the first episode that just dropped. And it's truly been overwhelming in the best way. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart. So that's all for tonight. I hope everyone has an awesome week, and I can't wait. Next week, I am hopping on with one of my best friends, Angelica, and she's going to be talking about happy, healthy, and thriving co-parenting relationships. So that is one that you are definitely not going to want to miss. So I will see you next week. If you made it this far, thanks so much for listening to another episode of Mom Life Unscripted, the podcast show that normalizes everyday struggles of motherhood without being a Debbie Downer or using toxic positivity. If you like this episode, please be sure to rate and review the podcast and subscribe so you don't miss a thing. And don't forget to grab your free resource linked in the show notes below, 10 quick and easy steps to avoid mom burnout. See you next time.